top of the morning. It's Keith, Mark, and Sharon here on We Are Live.
It's always fun to see your interpretations of what you think sounds a certain way. It's We Are Live. Chris Temmon, Travis Terrell. We're here. It's Friday. Very excited. We've got Ian Edwards, who's going to be at Helium Comedy Club all weekend long on the show today. Lots to get to, but let's say hello and happy Cocktober to our producer and stream queen and caned man, Christopher Gardner.
Woo! Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Walnuts.
Yes. Chris, put it up. Chris, come on. There you go.
Michael Caine.
Oh,
Michael Caine says hello.
We see you, MC.
You done faking this injury yet?
I don't want Michael Caine to fall down.
We have video of Gardner, and maybe we'll put that up on the IG, coming around the corner in the office, because he looks just like Attenborough from when he was in Jurassic Park. His brother, that is. And
One of the Attenboroughs.
Yeah,
Richard Attenborough.
I think it was Richard, yes. And, of course, Gardner goes, "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
It's fun.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a lot better. It was not like yesterday morning. Yesterday morning was
Yeah, I can tell in your eyes.
terrible.
Yeah.
I was very worried. I'm still worried about one thing in particular with my left knee. But whatever soft tissue damage there might be, I think has started to loosen up. So I'm feeling better.
Do you think
The day to day.
Do you think you'll be ready for the start of the season?
No, never.
Okay.
Never. I'll probably go to urgent care later today, though, just
That's fun.
to make sure everything's okay. We'll see, though, because there's that one lingering thing that's bothering me. So
I think
after my scooter crash, where a hit was put out on me.
Well,
it seems.
Did you figure out who put the hit out?
No, not yet.
Okay.
we have it narrowed down to 275 potential
I
suspects.
talked to another member of the Dream Team yesterday,
Oh boy.
just to advise me on how to go about getting video, possibly.
Think you
So,
will?
I'm gonna make a phone call today to KDHX down the street, because I noticed they have some security cameras out front, which is close to the vicinity where this incident, alleged hit, happened. So I'm gonna maybe place a call to them to see if they might have something from roughly 6:30 to 6:45 in the morning on Wednesday, and we'll see.
Okay.
Hopefully we get that. We could see it. More than anything, I just want to see what my body did.
This is all just an elaborate ploy to get employed by KDHX,
Yeah, I think
and
that's
he's
basically
doing
the
that so it
play.
doesn't look weird if
Wow.
he gets caught walking into that building
I don't know if that's
to accept the position.
how it works there.
Oh, okay. Seems like there's a lot going on over there,
Yeah,
and I
so-
don't know enough about it, but I see a lot of people
Yeah.
not happy / some craziness going on.
I know a guy that comes into my local watering hole that does some stuff there on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I have to, maybe I'll.
Am I right? There's some strife there right now?
I don't know.
It's public. Like, they're like airing out a lot of stuff. But
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I
Okay.
haven't,
Not being a part of that world anymore is fine with me. Like we were actually talking about it the other day.
yeah,
out-
it's
off
just
the
that
air.
that's a different type of.
Oh, it's a
Different
way
type
different
of
type
job.
of
Oh,
this is-
absolutely.
This
I'm-
would be more like working for a charity.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, there's in St. Louis, for those who are not familiar, is notorious for behind-the-scenes drama, and it's not even like
In what?
and
the
just in radio
world.
in the radio world, and it's not even anything it's not even reasonable drama. Like, it's drama that is it feels like it's manufactured. It's just people who are idiots, mostly.
Yeah, the headlines ones, but like if you just kind of get along with people and just do what you're supposed to do, then there is none of that, and there are a lot of cool people in that world.
That's the thing.
But there are it's like squeaky wheels, or squeaky wheel gets the oil. Well, how's that work?
I think that's I don't
You
know.
have the colloquialisms
Yeah.
being from a rural
Right.
town.
Yep.
Murphy
Settlement. Thank you.
My apologies.
I think I don't know. Like, there's, of course, the Nielsen does their ratings, but there isn't Radio Wars anymore. There isn't a.
Nielsen
Well,
doesn't do their
there was
ratings.
just
They still do the radio ratings.
No, they
Arbitron.
don't.
No, they do. No,
Arbitron.
Arbitron also still. Arbitron
Nielsen
does it.
doesn't do radio.
I promise you, Nielsen still does radio.
Look it
They've
up.
never done radio.
I can assure you, they still do radio.
They only do television.
I'm telling you, I have a friend that works for Nielsen. Not only do they do radio, they do television. They also do social media now as well. I have a friend that literally works for the main company. But okay. I guess this is indeed Cocktoberfest.
Yeah.
So as an African American male, I am wrong.
Well,
Yes.
not just because of the month.
Not only that, I did Gardner, you missed it last night. I did a Black People Don't Comply joke last night.
Oh, at
He did a great job
comedy.
at Gastro Pit and Gaslight last night. Free comedy every Thursday late after Happiest Hour at 6.
By the way, I love what they've done to the Gastro Pit over on the hill. It's just so,
Looks nice.
it's very nice. It's
got
really, and the
studio there
food is
still?
just insane. Like, please get over there if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, shout out to the wonderful folks below us at Sophie's for Happiest Hour.
That went great. It was a nice crowd despite a big Cardinals game that we have to talk about. Cardinals playoffs, as we know, kind of takes precedence over anything, I guess, socially when that's going on. And young professionals at Gateway Pet Guardians, they came out and supported. Great comedy last night. Young Tommy did well. Chris Sear, Sean Don, Sam got up and did some time. So we'll have another great lineup next week. But the star of the show was Boyer, who is currently available for adoption, birthday parties, corporate events, company parties, and bar mitzvahs. Travis.
Oh, my.
Yes.
I
So
love it.
look out for him. Alonzo, the dog, was adopted, so we're 1 for 1 with wall bumps for the dogs. Let's make it happen. Let's get our boy Boyer a home.
I stand corrected. During Cocktoberfest,
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Nielsen does do radio ratings. They are formerly Arbitron, though, so apparently they bought Arbitron. So they're new to the game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's
So
the
you
same thing.
okay. So we both were right.
You said they'd
Different
always
way.
done it.
It was to my knowledge that
I think we should argue about it for about half an hour.
I'm
Yeah.
game for that.
This-
It's been a while.
Sounds good.
It's been a while since we had
This-
one of those.
Where it's a real ridiculous. Like,
It's just
chase and tail.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's not even going to go anywhere. It's
Right.
going to go in constant circles. It's our kind of show.
This is what happened. We were just talking about getting security footage from a radio station, and this happened.
4 days into Cocktoberfest, we're back to just going back to terrestrial radio
What are we
arguments.
arguing about? I don't know.
It's what we do best.
Where's
We
everyone
can't help
apple
it.
picking this weekend?
Oh,
Let's
God.
say
For the
a
love
happy
of God.
4th day of
Yeah,
Cocktoberfest.
Hello now.
indeed, Yes.
Day
And
4 of Cocktoberfest.
I gotta tell you,
It's fall weather, baby.
It is.
Yeah.
It's feeling good.
Happened
I'm loving
quick.
it. I'm letting it did like in a snap of a finger.
I went from thinking I was like, Mad Max is not far away. Like this is where it's at. I mean, I wonder if I could live over there.
We got a point. There was a couple days to start off this week where Gardner and I were wondering, is this the end?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 92 degrees,
Yep.
and everyone right now walking to their cars are sweating their balls off.
Mm.
And then just like that, within a matter of 24 hours, Fall was like, I was running late. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry. I had a great summer. I was getting drunk. I was, putting my face in some big old biddies, and so now here I am.
Despite his dumbass comments just there, a young man by the name of Matt Wayman, very funny comic. Last night, I think Travis, you may have ducked out, but Travis went up and did his time, and Matt was like, "What's Travis doing up there?" And he was like, "Travis doing comedy? He's doing that." Goes up. After Travis goes, Matt's first line was like, "Oh, good to see Travis has been doing comedy for 2 weeks, and he's funnier than half the comics in St. Louis."
That's a
So
nice
I feel-
compliment
he's like,
from Wayman. I love Wayman. He's one of my
like, yeah.
favorites.
He's like 8 years in. That makes me feel pretty good.
I love Wayman.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites easily. That's such a nice thing of him to say. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
it was good.
I
It
didn't
was
know
funny.
that. That's really nice.
We've got. I asked the comments section where everyone would be apple picking for this glorious Cocktober weekend.
Yeah.
Thierbox in Marthasville is where the apple picking is at. To hell with Eckerts. Should we start an apple picking war?
We might as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We won't be able to show it today, but we were laughing at a sketch SNL did for their season premiere on apple picking, an apple picking orchard in northern New York, and it was pretty.
You go pay what, $15 to get $5 worth of
He
apples.
said you pay like $40 for $15
something
worth
like
of
that, yeah.
apples. He said gonna travel up to northern New York.
Upstate, they
Upstate
say.
New York.
Come on,
New York,
you're from
yeah,
there.
That's
you know
right. My
that.
bad. Damn
Yeah,
it.
you're a New Yorker.
Let's start saying that here. Can we start?
Upstate Missouri.
Upstate,
Yes, absolutely. Just piss off everyone in northern Missouri by start doing that. Absolutely.
Oh, you're from upstate.
Oh, you're
Missouri.
from? Oh, okay. Oh, we can do that to Kansas City. We can do that. Oh, yeah, Kansas City. Oh, you mean upstate Missouri?
Yeah.
That will piss them off.
Left state.
Left state Missouri.
we have
Start
a
describing it that way.
we have a comment. Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer. If you change Boyer's name to Foyer, instant adoption.
That's very true.
For the dog.
Foyer's got a point.
Oh.
Foyer's got
Yeah.
a point. Fancy
So, yeah,
Foyer
so
should
see
adopt
that.
Boyer.
Man, what is happening?
Shut up, Denman.
Brain just scrambled. What's happening? If you're just tuning in, it is Cocktober, but also we have Ian Edwards on. We spoke to him yesterday, and through the magic of digital technology, we'll be able to show you the conversation. That was
somebody hit a
really
rec-
fun. Yeah.
I love Ian Edwards. And,
And by the way, he's very, very
It's a,
funny.
he's-
If you want to go
it's
to
a-
Helium this weekend.
It's a fun 40-minute conversation.
and
really is.
And he's a phenomenal comedian. I say this a lot about the people we interview, and I know it's a bias because they're so
Well, he's
very
black,
kind
so
to
I'm
us, and
sure
he's
you're gonna
African American, and
speak to his
and
praise.
he also has an accent that who doesn't love?
He's
that
he's
accent.
Jamaican, but was born in England and lived in Brooklyn, and it's like he's
Like,
this
and they
weird-
all
and it
come
all is right
together.
there in
Yes.
his mouth. Yeah.
Yes, and then like I said, for those who don't know Ian's writing credits, he's written on some of the most popular shows currently on TV, and he's written for Blackish. Of course, he wrote briefly for the Carmichael Show. So he's a guy that not only is phenomenal on the stage, but in the writer's room, he's just highly sought out. So it was really cool to have him in here. He's one of those guys that, again, gosh, I don't want to sound redundant, and Gardner hates this, but he is one of those guys that I think should blow up. He's one of those guys that should probably be one of the biggest names currently in comedy. And
Especially now.
changer.
Yeah.
forever, yeah, he
That
is what
indeed.
he is. He changes the game.
You yelled that yesterday about something.
I did. I don't even know what.
And then I was walking into the restroom and I just started yelling.
He's
at
like,
you.
everything can be a game changer,
And I'm
Terrell.
like, no, it just rings hollow. I don't even know what it means anymore.
I'm like, shut up and go take another ibuprofen, old man.
Why does the game keep changing? This is why you're scaring old people, because you keep changing the game.
Too many changes.
Have some consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how we end up where we are. Stop game changing.
I apologize.
Yeah. it's
Freak
true.
people out. I do want to say, like, Cocktoberfest has had a wonderful start this week, even with the alleged hit put out on me.
Yes.
Which possibly was because of Cocktoberfest, or that was a guise to kind of hide their true intentions.
Very true.
But there are certain days where, man, the Cocktoberfest universe, or whatever it is, the Cocktoberfest gods, if there are any, just give you miracles. And we have multiple Cocktoberfest miracles.
Now,
this
before we get
morning.
into those, because we do have some important miracles to attend to, but if we may, can I? In the name of Wes Anderson, appropriation, and white flight,
Destin, Florida.
Thank you.
Nice, Travis. Thank
And
you for leading that.
certainly, no, that's what I'm. Hey, that's
We
what
want to
we're
be
here for.
inclusive here.
And I went to a
To an
thing the other night.
extent.
I went to a thing the other night, and this lady preacher said a prayer, and I'm so averse to bad public speakers now because we talk to the best speakers on the planet
Right.
and communicators on the planet.
Right.
When I say that, I'm not exaggerating. So anytime I go anywhere there's public speaking involved, I'm like, get this person off the stage. I can't help it. We
You could even
talked
do a
for 2 hours.
prayer?
It was.
We'll do Apollo.
She was thinking.
We'll do Apollo.
She was
That is.
thinking on the fly, and I was like, "You are not good at this." And short is your friend. When you're not good, shorter is better. And I'm just
No
sitting
one to
there.
lead.
He's thinking to himself, "Oh, if she used the N word, it might save her a little
Oh,
because
and
it'd
be
be
like,
30% funnier."
y'all N-words, get ready for some dinner.
She had lost me at first, but then she threw that in there. Now I'm back.
Praise be to the funny guys. Oh,
Way to
man.
save it.
And it was a really nice event, and she seemed like a very nice person. Terrible prayer. I was like, can we just get like
Prayer, see, that's the thing.
And
That's what.
And she was thinking of it on the fly. She's talking about the food, and she starts saying, "To nourish us." And I'm like, and?
Is it like, oh boy, yesterday?
And?
Candy
Hang on. Candy Crush. Oh my god. No, I
want to know what he was reading when that was going on.
It was
I'm hoping it was
Steve-
nudes. I'm hoping just a string of nudes.
No, it was just the most normal thing. It was like, if you don't pick up paper towels, I'm kicking your ass when you get home.
I
That's
was
probably
hoping
what
it
it
was
was.
like a New York Times article or something.
On mega churches.
And he needed to finish it.
It
was-
IRS.
It was the latest recap of the Righteous Gemstones, and he's
Right, and he doesn't realize the irony of it either. Yeah, he's just like, they're just silly.
Because remember he kicked it into a higher thing, so maybe something in the plot caught his eye. Like, a little surprise there.
But we interrupted you. Your miracles that took place.
Well, number one, an album has dropped.
Oh
today.
my! What album would that be? What white American album dropped today? Well, how white could it be, Gardner? Really, how white could it be?
Ode to Joy by Wilco.
Oh my
dropped
God!
today.
Is that the album cover?
That is the album
What the
cover.
frick is that? Wilco.
A miracle!
That is a miracle. That's somebody like an X-ray of someone's tooth. What are we looking at here?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Wilco's new album is out in Cocktoberfest.
And then listen, what's the name of the album?
Ode to Joy.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's miracle number one. That is a pretty big miracle. Did anybody know that they were dropping an album this month?
I
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so-
it's programmed.
Oh,
in
it's,
our heads now,
it's
whenever
what
we-
happens at your meeting.
You're not on the text chat.
Gotcha, large.
Do things still come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
I don't know
I don't think
exclusively
they.
or
I
not.
don't think they do.
In the
like that.
prime of like DVDs and stuff like that, if you went to Walmart or a Best Buy, I guess it'd be Walmart, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it was
At
a Tuesday
midnight
used to
on
be
a
a thing,
Tuesday,
yeah.
in a college town,
Yeah.
there would be a lot of people like waiting on that new whatever.
I will tell you what the
dumb
movie
comedy
was.
to
I will
come
tell
out.
you what the movie. Bad Boys 2.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, that was it for us.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, Bad Boy 2 coming on DVD. And we had a watch party in the dorms.
That's hilarious.
That's God. I just dated myself there. Good
I
Lord.
was
Yeah.
I was sitting here silent and just
Like,
letting you
sweet
go
Jesus. What? Should have probably kept that one to myself.
because I saw you were going to get there eventually.
My ass
I didn't think it was going to be that quick.
is old as hell.
I want to say that something like that may have happened with 40-Year-Old Virgin or
It was-
something around there.
Before the streaming wars. But then, okay, we're missing two more miracles then.
So that's your first Cocktoberfest miracle.
Right.
Because we have a trio this morning. The other two come from the same baseball game.
Oh boy, baseball will definitely provide some Oktoberfest miracles. What do we have?
It comes from the game the Cardinals won 7-6.
Woo woo! Go
We all-
Birds!
We all saw this coming.
First game of the NLDS against the Braves in Atlanta. Cardinals squeak one out. Take game one with Jack Flaherty.
And probably white America's
today.
probably two of white America's favorite teams. Right? We would say if white America had to pick
I mean, anything
National League, certainly.
There's the
Anything I
Cardinal
can
way.
watch a baseball game and go, ooh, ooh.
You can appropriate a Native American chant for your baseball team in the South.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be one of white America's favorite baseball teams.
So from that game last night,
Okay.
one of the stars of baseball, because if you've seen their new marketing campaign in the postseason,
MLB, was it something about live?
It's something about like
We do it live!
No, we play loud.
Oh, we play
So
loud.
it's them showing celebrations and having fun while playing baseball. I'm not sure, guys like Goose Gossage might like the ad or not. Guys that have been vocal in the past about how the game is played and playing it the right way.
Sure we
Well,
did.
we got some of that yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Ronald Acuna didn't run out of the box hard
Not hustling, Chris.
on a ball he hit off the wall in right field that bounced right to Dexter Fowler, and Fowler got it in pretty quick to second base, I will say. But Acuna held to a single there, and then even in postgame, some of his teammates taking issue with him not hustling. Not hustling.
Fun
We get to
night.
talk about not hustling.
Fun.
Miracle number 2.
I would
Oh,
like to
man.
take this opportunity on behalf of the online commenters for the Post-Dispatch to say we apologize for being upset about your pink and blue hair, Mr. Martinez. And I would like to invite you to the Caucasian delegation because your behavior, once there was some pimping it with the home run last night, was that of a 30-year-old white dude from Texas.
Yeah, and I think that may be part of our third miracle.
It is part of the third miracle. And even to add on to miracle number 2, Acuna from Venezuela. So American
him out.
capitalists get to rail on socialism
Wow.
as they want to do.
Wow.
I mean, that's a bonus.
Oh, man, that's huge.
So that's miracle number 2.
Wow.
But Carlos Martinez, who probably has been the ire of the likes of the Sound Off column from time to time, and
Probably the last 3 years.
our
at
local
least.
newspaper,
Definitely.
especially
To be fair,
a lady by the name of Dorothy Light.
Dorothy Light did not care for the color of Carlos Martinez's
She likes
blue
clean,
hair.
She likes the Yankees clean cut look.
She said nothing about his tattoos that he has from neck to toe, but it was the colored hair, Chris, that absolutely sent old Dorothy Light over the river.
But maybe Carlos has endeared himself to those people
How so?
because Ronald Acuna, who his own teammates were complaining about not running out of the box last night, who was 3 for 4 with a 2-run homer, coming off a little injury as well.
Yeah.
Actually contributing
Yeah.
to what they were trying to
The
do.
main reason why they're in that game.
It's not the
yesterday.
bullpen. It's not
No.
other things
Mark
like that. No,
Melancon.
yeah, it's he didn't run
Right,
hard
right.
out of the box. But Carlos Martinez took issue with Ronald Acuna Jr. when he was rounding third, doing a little dance,
Oh, did he ever?
tagging the base.
Did he ever?
And Carlos wasn't happy. Carlos gave up the home run to him. Also gave up one to Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
but was able to lock it down eventually in that 9th inning. And Carlos, after the game, had some comments. Here's a tweet right here.
From Joe Trezza, who has the best hair of any beat reporter, I think, in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals weren't thrilled by how Ronald Acuna Jr. rounded the bases on his 9th inning homer enough that Yadi Molina went to the mound to calm Carlos Martinez down afterwards. Post-game, Martinez said, "I wanted him to respect the game and respect me as a veteran player."
Respect the game, a.k.a. play the game the right way.
The white
Miracle number
The
3.
right way, indeed.
Oh,
So you got.
we are all blessed this morning.
We are very blessed this morning.
I do enjoy the analysis, but if I have to hear that moan from Gardner again, I
Which one?
crawl out. And you're really enjoying yourself.
Like that?
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
There's a little
All right.
little GIF
GIF.
of Carlos being held back by Yadier Molina, yelling into the bench of the Braves.
Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah, playoffs.
I mean, look, everybody's on full tilt. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Emotions are running high, and look, Acuna is an incredible talent, and he
Oh, he's so
probably.
good. He was dumb for doing that, acting
Ab-
like that.
yeah,
but
absolutely.
He's super
And
young.
he's
He's
a-
gonna
he-
do stuff like
and
Well,
that.
he
he's a
can
kid.
dance.
I don't
Oh,
have.
that's okay.
I don't have. Here's my thing on the whole celebration dancing thing. The only thing about Acuna's celebration that I had a problem with is, bro, you're still down 1-2 runs, and at that time you were down 4. So in that moment, that's not what you should be doing. Like
Oh,
you
you're
should.
now you're
No, but no,
way
I'm
to
saying
celebrate
look,
Oktoberfest.
I am
Travis.
really getting into it. The spirit of
Way
it.
to tell someone else how to play the game.
Look, play the game however you want, and I think the guy is going to be a multiple NL MVP, and he will be the face of this league for years to come. He's going to be a stud. There is no doubt about it, and I still feel that he's one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous player in this series. But with that being said, there's a time and a place. With everything else, there's a time and a place to completely just go, hey, you score a game-winning touchdown, you can freaking do an entire choreography from Music
Carlos
City Hall. I don't
Martinez
care.
is not the person to be criticized.
True. I will agree with you there.
If you're gonna
I
go
also
here-
agree with you there. I completely agree with you there as well.
You can play with and I want Carlos Martinez to play with flair and
Me too.
flamboyancy. I enjoy that.
Me too.
You just don't
You're going to get to
make
tell
those
somebody else.
comments. Yeah,
I
no.
agree. I completely agree with you there.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree.
Let's just do what you're doing. Play loud, right? That's what MLB's saying.
True.
Have fun. I loved Acuna's little step around.
I thought it
base.
was funny. I thought it was funny. At the same time, I was also thinking, bro, you're still down 2 runs. There's a lot of baseball
but
that you.
You don't have to you weren't down like 10. You were in the 9th inning, getting the crowd into
True.
it,
Okay.
and you started.
You started a rally that nearly got him back into it.
I don't see any but that's still results oriented in a way.
Sure.
I have no issue at all with.
Even with the Pippen in the home run, that only got him a
No.
single. You don't have a problem with that?
Well, I mean,
That kind of cost you a base pad.
Well,
he's not the player.
Made himself
that-
a distraction.
This is the thing. He is. If you are talking about him as being the issue today for the Atlanta Braves, then you have no idea how
Agreed.
to analyze a game.
Agreed.
That is your issue.
I-
A guy going 3 for 4, hitting a 2-run homer, getting a 9th inning rally started,
I agree.
coming off an injury.
Yeah.
What he did in the regular season.
Phenomenal.
If he's your issue for why that game went awry for you yesterday, then you're not paying attention.
I agree. I agree.
That's all.
Look, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this series because, like I said before, I think the Cardinals are playing with house money, just in the same fashion I thought through the NHL playoffs. The Blues are playing with house money, so each series win is just a bonus in my book. Look, I think
It's nice that when your expectations are lower.
It is, and I
can
actually
enjoy
enjoyed the game that way yesterday
Yeah.
because, like I said, on paper, and we saw a lot of it even during the game because Freddie Freeman is just having a monster season. That is a just loaded team offensively, and you just thought that, hey, if you can maybe pick off one of those games, certainly the first one, you'd like your chances at winning the series. Now the Cardinals can roll out their ace Jack Flaherty today against still a very formidable lineup in the Atlanta Braves, but you do have that one win in your cap. You will get 2 games at Busch, which I think is just as important, of course, Chris, if I may, for the bars and local businesses in the downtown area. They'll at least get 2 playoff games. That is really cool. So, but no, I'm happy for your miracles. I think
3.
Yes, three huge miracles, and I'm happy that baseball playoffs are here. Like we are I wouldn't say we're jaded, but first of all, Major League Baseball season is so long.
Incredibly long. Playoffs are even a long affair.
And so it was fun to be in the office and to have Gardner and I and Chris, and just even as we were working, still focused in on the television. Like that's the St. Louis thing. Like that's the thing in this part of the country where
We were giving updates in between comics.
yes,
That's fine.
yeah, we like it's our thing.
It's
Whether we
fun,
do it or not, it's our thing.
Especially in the first round to have games going on during
Yes.
the day.
Yes, that's the best part.
In the afternoon. It's nice.
And we'll have some. If you are a Caucasian or fan of baseball, today is your day because there's nothing but baseball on from 2 in the afternoon to about 11 o'clock at night.
It's a good baseball.
And it's a great.
Flaherty
baseball
going to
day.
stay in his insane form?
I think he'll do well. If I'm a Cardinals fan, I wouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves because that Braves lineup is very potent.
White Mamba.
Yeah, he is. Oh, don't you do that? Don't you dare! But Jack Flaherty, look, the kid has talked the talk. He's walked the walk, and he's been the best pitcher in baseball, National League and American League, in the second half of the season. And if you're Cardinals, you feel good about the chances. Look, shout out to Miles Michaelis, even though with a slow start yesterday, was able to put together a strong outing.
Yeah.
So the bullpen is ready if need be, but you feel good
Playoffs
about
are
Jack
weird.
Flaherty being ready.
The-
The playoffs are weird.
The errors yesterday, that was the best. What were they? One of the best defensive
They
teams
were
in
like
baseball.
fielding
They had
percentage. They were the best
3
baseball
errors.
team. 3 errors in a game for
I
the
think
first time.
Fangraphs had them ranked number 2 in terms
Yeah.
of the metrics they
That's
use.
crazy.
I think it was the first time all season the Cardinals had 3 errors in a baseball game.
Real quick, just so I don't forget, Triangle Assassin made a good point, and I also agree with that. The other part of it is you don't want that guy doing it. Don't let him give up a home run. Like, that's the other
Oh,
thing.
yeah, at the end of the day, get him out. At the end of the day, don't throw a fat-ass 92-mile-per-hour fastball down the heart of the plate to one of the best hitters in all of baseball.
No,
that
we-
also helps.
And what you do is you hit a home run, somebody on your team, and
Just
then
go
if
to
you want
celebrate.
to, do your own little shimmy
Yeah.
that drives the girls crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
Oh,
out
Have
in
some
Lime.
fun. Let's go back and forth. Let's have fun with it.
You know what else
Hey,
is
you
fun?
know what is nice though? I like setting the tone for the Cardinals being the bad guy again too.
Oh, I'm game for that.
With a comment
Today-
Carlos had.
Yeah, I like
Flaherty,
that.
Flaherty may cement that today. He can be a
That's-
little, you know.
So that's fun.
And because Flaherty is he's a millennial version of playing the game the right way. He's one of those rare millennials who buys into the Dorothy Light way of doing baseball, where
Maybe we could get even though I don't necessarily agree
He's
with
so
them,
good.
he is very good.
a comment like that about respecting the game, there's a lot of ways to play a game.
Mhm.
I don't agree with it, but I like it because it creates some animosity towards you. So maybe we start changing if it continues and the Cardinals keep winning. We talked about the song the other day. I said do like a rally song. I said Icona Pops, I love it, just because I think Sean dances well.
I love it.
But we could even go newer, and maybe we go Billie Eilish Bad Guy. If they continue to maybe ruffle feathers in a
I
way
like
with
that
comments.
song. She is such a lovely artist.
But you be the bad guys again.
A lovely artist.
You know who's not the bad guys? Gateway Powder Coating.
Oh,
That's right. They're not.
nice.
They're great guys. Customer service is key. Gateway Powder Coating can help you. It's fall. It's officially fall. It's good big man weather. Finally, for the love of God. It's been so sweaty. So if you want to grill and you want your grill to look nice, you need to powder coat it. Don't paint it. That's right. Powder coat it. GatewayPowderCoat.com for more information. Check out all their capabilities online and go see Mark and the fellas today in beautiful O'Fallon. Happy Cocktober, everybody.
Let's keep the
Balance.
Cocktober spirit rolling. Gardner, what are our songs for today's Cocktober playlist?
All right, time to add to the playlist, which has had the likes of Dave Matthews Band, Journey, Bon Jovi, Jack Johnson, Jimmy Buffett. I can't remember the other one.
That one band that sings the song.
I said, hey.
Oh, Four Non Blondes. That's
There
who
you
I
go.
forgot. Okay,
I almost
so
said Concrete. Wasn't there a band called Concrete Blonde at the same time?
could be. I think
And then
there is.
there's Natalie Merchant, and then you get into the whole, man.
Don't get me started with
I don't
Natalie
even know what's
Merchant,
going
but
on.
That was Quality
Calm
Snow. That was Quality Snow.
I need to put Liz Fair down.
People got mad at Liz Fair because 20 years of independent rock and roll was not enough. And she made a little money. people got real mad. She turned her back on indie rock. Go to hell. God.
People got mortgages, man. Y'all got to relax.
Like, shut up.
People have health care. People have kids.
Calm down. I'm mad at her.
She sold out. Like, fuck.
Dude, people got car notes. Go to hell, pal.
Yeah.
You get to
Oh.
live nicely. While
Tell me Liz Fair's. Oh, she turned it up. Shut up. She made money. She made some money.
Some people like to shop. Some people like to go to the mall. They don't like putting everything in layaway. Let her live. Damn.
And then she kind of just went away. She's like, got it. Finally. See ya.
That's the game.
Yeah.
You build up a little audience, you sell
Retire
out,
early.
and then you retire early. That's the way you play it.
Get
Is that
an
what you're going
RV.
to do? Yeah.
Get an RV,
You think
travel
Liz
the country.
Fair's in an RV right now?
Yeah, I do.
Where do you think she is?
So there's no doubt she's
Where
in,
would she be?
Wyoming.
An eclectic Arizona town?
she's in Fresno.
Okay.
She's in Sedona.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
That's a great
That's a
town.
great place.
Yeah.
All right. So who are our songs today?
You know who was in a band that had a big song named Sedona? I knew he was doing that.
Katie Tupin.
Katie
all right.
Tupin used to be in Houndmouth.
Okay.
They had a Billboard chart.
Oh,
topper.
relax. And it's because of you, by the way, why we're not getting certain talent to come by this studio.
Oh, is that
anymore.
right? Because
Yeah.
Ian Edwards is on today. He's pretty talented.
No, I'm talking about the other kind of talent. That's
what
also
kind of
talent
talent?
and also of the attractive variety.
kind of talent.
That's just Chris Travis. I included you in this.
You did. You cost me. You cost me. And I kind of
No,
told
you
on myself.
cost yourself.
I told on myself. You should.
Say, hey, I should ask so and so in.
I was like, oh yeah, definitely. I was like, oh okay. And then I looked them up, and I was like, oh yeah.
And I'm like, nope.
Invite them in now. And Gardner's like, nope, that was the reaction I anticipated. We will not invite them in. You're not ruining my credibility.
Have you reached out to Johnny Resnick and the Goo Goo Dolls yet?
No.
I'll make similar sounds.
The moan I made earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, our first song for today on the Cocktoberfest playlist, Chicken Fried by the Zach Brown Band.
Home beer on a Friday.
Now batting, Matt Holiday.
Zach Brown Band.
Idiots.
Shout out to. It's like 19 of them in the band. I didn't realize Zach
Is
Brown
that
Band
really?
was an entire choir. Apparently, why do you need that many people in a band? It's like 7. Like that's like how do you?
steampunk? What
Is that what
going
it
on?
is?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so,
But they're incredibly popular. But also,
To be
again,
fair, like
there's
that's just a delightful song, Travis.
that's 8 people in a band. Why?
Hey, watch it.
No, Arcade Fire is completely different. At least they have women.
Tell you what'll happen.
And they
is,
all play different instruments.
Yes,
see
but
what
like, how
happens
do you
is you
split
get-
that when you're on tour? That
Well,
freaking
you
sucks.
do a couple tours, and then we're gonna do a pared down.
No
version
wonder why they're like.
next time.
yeah, about
It's
to-
like Sturgill Simpson, like, I used to have like 8 horns in his band on Saturday Night Live, and then I see him live, I'm like, he's a 3-piece? Like, what is this?
Yeah, because he realized he was like he was splitting
Not
them
paying
checks
for all
at
you
night,
people.
Right.
No, the way you do it is the way Brandi Carlile does it. She's got 2 twins that help her write the songs, and they're just like, this is all we need. We don't even need a drummer.
That's why you got to see people early.
Yeah.
And they start banging. Oh,
Yeah.
damn it, missed it all. All right. Zac Brown Band is your first one.
Chicken fried.
The other version of that is they are a 3-piece, and then they're the only ones who get the stardom, and then they pay studio musicians to stand behind the stacks and fill out their thing. Like Green Day is a good example of that. They're a 3-piece. If you see them, I think if you see them live, they're probably a 5 or 6-piece with the extra guitars.
I
and
have
stuff.
to add Green Day to the list
There you go.
because they are coming to town in January to play the NHL All-Star game here in
it's
town.
here, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's so crazy.
So let me make sure I put them
This
down.
next song's about heroin use in 1994. 2, 3, 4.
I got to figure out what song to go with them. We'll see. All right, our other song for today.
It's Longview is the answer.
Okay.
That was the song you don't play when your parents are around. A lot of bad stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Thunder. Thunder. Imagine Dragons.
John
Oh.
Beebe.
Thunder.
Literally,
Wow.
John
I don't
Beebe.
know.
It's like John Beebe is an amazing talent,
What?
hardworking guy. But this is the owner of By Jack's favorite band, Imagine Dragons, and that makes me question him every day. I'm like, man, you know what? You are a true pillar of our community, but I can't support you because you love Imagine Dragons. It's one thing to like Imagine Dragons. Do you?
Congrats on the great T-shirts, but let's talk about the music you're into, pal.
This is such a I hear they're very nice guys, so I'm not gonna completely trash them. And look, you sell that many albums and you can fill that many stadiums. Who am I to talk? But they make the worst music on planet Earth, the worst, and it's made worse by
Not the word.
it's made worse by corporate America and professional sports leagues because you hear them and then they throw them together with any sports highlights and it's
Fits
just
in the Tantrums was
cheeseball.
getting play because of
Aloe Black was as well, and look what happened to his career.
what?
I haven't
Aloe
heard from
Black.
him since. Aloe
The
Black.
NFL okay,
the
though?
NFL picks you up. And
I'm
they
the
just-
man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
He's doing okay off that.
Yeah, well,
right?
certainly, but
Like,
Who's
what if he
the-
doesn't need to do anything?
Who did the song "I'm Coming Home"? It starts off with
I'm coming home.
that one. That was
coming
overused.
home.
Like, and they
Tell the
returned to their
world I'm
hometown
coming home.
for 2 years.
As the rain
Remember they
across the wind.
played that when Michael Chandler walked out fighting here. I'm like, oh, because he's from here. Okay.
Okay, I'll have to see. I forgot to check to see who TBS is using, or MLB
I don't know
is
who that
using.
is. You got to check who
Do
MLB
they-
they,
is.
do they
do
just
some-
use the karaoke versions because they
use-
don't want to pay for the rights?
Because they've used Imagine Dragons, I think. I know they've used Fits in the Tantrums. I think like several times.
Who made Fits in the Tantrums the official MLB network?
I don't know.
House band.
It's like they would write an album.
Is that Costas' son that made that happen?
Probably.
It's like they would
Poor
write
kid.
an album with an idea of at least one song possibly being the bumper music.
And you know what? Good for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Like that bass line's a little too funky for ages 27 to 40-year-old males. What?
you know what? We can use this if you guys put a whistle in it.
Yeah. There it is.
I remember, what's that song, Natural, they would play for Imagine Dragons in the college football season on ESPN?
God.
That was horrible. You're natural. And I would be like, I didn't know you could find a way to ruin college football, but thank you, ESPN.
Yeah.
You didn't think Big and Rich?
Oh, they set the table, didn't they?
I mean,
Oh, I forgot.
calm
about
down
that.
here.
I'm not gonna, can I be honest?
How does it go?
We are coming to your set pay. I'm not gonna lie, that was the shit. Well, that made sense because like Big and Rich,
Modest Mouse should cover that one.
they should. Big and Rich made sense because ESPN would cover a bunch of SEC games, so
They
that's
would go
like
to
that's
different
them.
cities.
They would go there. We are coming to your city, and they would come to your city. That was pretty cool. So I'm not as hard on Big and Rich as I am on Imagine Dragons, because Imagine Dragons, I believe, is actually a talented band that actually has talent, and I just hate they make terrible music.
So that's we're adding Thunder by Imagine Dragons and Chicken Fry by Zach
Just
Brown
gonna
Band.
chill down my back just how terrible those songs are. Like those songs make me I get like maybe there are hip hop songs that probably make your parents or even my parents for that matter very uncomfortable. This music makes
Don't
me
play that from Grandpa Evans.
that kind of music just thinking of that Imagine Dragons song. It's just
I think we should do Imagine Dragons in the office today.
I don't do it.
It's Cocktoberfest.
I'll leave early.
You don't get to decide this.
Chris, I'll leave her. I'll leave at 10:01. I got work to do today too, and
No, you don't. It's a Friday.
I don't know.
True.
Yeah, the Fridays are weird here. There's like weird, it's like random mix of celebrities. It's like stuff in
People
here.
just go
Yeah,
It's
it
always
is weird.
really funny on Fridays.
It really
is.
It started
And
to like
the best, and I've probably even talked about it, but my favorite is what was it? 2 weeks ago, D. Ray Davis and our friend Rashonda, who's a great public speaker and doing all this awesome stuff. But she was in here and she's like double take. Was that? And she got a little bit starstruck. But the best one is the FedEx guy walking in, and Sinbad is sitting there giving us a TED talk in our office, and he's just like stops and he's like, he realized it. He's like, does this thing, and then he's like, Sinbad is 5 feet from me. What's going on here?
Where do I walk into every day?
What's happening here? Yeah.
I'm sure the UPS guy, he's such a nice guy. He comes in, I'm
he's
sure
so
he's wondering,
Probably be
friendly.
monitored.
what
by
are you doing in here? I
Yeah.
see T-shirt orders coming in.
Yeah.
I see publicists over here. I see comedians. You guys got a studio. What is this place?
Or there was a guy.
We're being monitored by the FBI.
Right.
Or that was last week. That was good. Some guys were coming in that are going to be launching a podcast here, and Preacher Lawson walks by, and they were like, "Oh, we haven't." Then they looked him up. Oh, yeah, we know him. Oh, yeah, that's great. Sorry, back to Cocktoberfest.
We have pop culture,
Pop culture.
where we celebrate one element of white culture each day.
And what
Thank
will
you.
that be today, Gardner?
Hopefully, it's a white entertainment channel. Finally.
What?
That ain't the whitest thing a white man has ever whited in his life.
New Balance shoes. I got mine on today.
Should
Shout
have
out
given me a heads up. I would have went New Balance Comfort as well.
I'm sorry.
the official shoe of mall walkers, New
So
Balance.
what? Okay,
I think I have these ones at home.
I need a breakdown here, because now they've become this thing where Travis would probably lazily say they're the shoe of the alt-right or something of that. But it is something like
It is a giant N on the front,
Yeah,
so
that
I think
is.
it kind of
Yeah.
tells
Hey.
on itself.
as in no blacks, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
okay,
it.
good. No,
Kawhi Leonard.
but
Kawhi Leonard has changed the game.
but New Balance, like they're almost along the line of like not wrestling shoes, but like Asics and Saucony. You say it like that, Saucony, Saucony, Saucony.
I think.
Yeah,
it could be
even
Saucony.
they're like the same person that would wear Chuck Taylors would wear the black. Like New Balance had some funky colors, and it was just the N on it. So it'd be that's how I always thought of them. But then the old white man is always wearing them. I get it. So we just choose to focus on it because it's hilarious because they're big bulky things, right?
Shout out to Kawhi
And they're
Leonard.
a wider shoe.
They're
too.
a
Which I
wider shoe.
like.
They have a
Yeah.
nice, strong base. And I think they also gives you a little bit of a lift. I think that's why a lot of whites like them, because
Yep.
they do give you a little bit of a lift in your height. So they kind of make you appear taller. So therefore you can look a black person in the eye for the first time in your life.
What does that have anything to
And then
Oh,
and
sorry.
then like
Yeah,
you
no.
guys don't have that extra Achilles. And so therefore New Balance helps provide that level of
Travis
support.
did an Ask a Black Guy segment in his set last night, and crowd was a little pensive. And
As they should be. I literally
was
asked
like-
a
I was
white
like-
crowd in the hill, please ask a black guy anything you've ever always wanted to
Yeah,
ask.
I wish I would have been there.
so
Yeah.
I stepped up.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They didn't. I mean, obviously, I look like a plant, but
Yeah.
how many Achilles do you have? What'd you say? 4.
I said 4, 2
Yeah.
each. 2 in each leg.
Better to rob you with.
That's why we choose to run for the cops.
Now you have to admit, when you were in Brooklyn,
Uh-huh.
you talked to me at
Yeah.
one point
Uh-huh. I did.
and said what?
I said New Balance are great for long walks. And I had to get me a pair because I do a lot of walking in Brooklyn. and it's true. When you do as much walking as you do in New York, I get now why New Balance would be the shoe of choice. They are very comfortable, and again, they're durable.
They're a great shoe.
They're a good shoe. Now, again, I think the problem happens for my culture is that we like shoes are a part of the outfit. So we're not necessarily getting shoes for the idea of comfort. We're getting shoes for the look. New Balance just look like, what are they, old nursing shoes. So that's the only thing. But they're comfortable. They're very comfortable. You can't deny that. And again, if you were, and one thing I did see a lot of in New York, people would travel with their dress shoe in their bag.
Right?
No, that's not bad at all. And they have improved by the way, they've improved the look of the New Balance over the years. And there are some really good-looking New Balance shoes. So those are good. That works, definitely.
Okay. We've got a comment from our boy Birch. He says that's a Corvette owner uniform, New Balance and jean shorts.
He's correct.
That's true,
He is very correct.
And the hat that says Corvette on it.
Yes, you'll see that all over. If you go to the Ledoux Snooks, you'll see guys in that exact outfit. That's no doubt about it. But they are comfortable. I get it. You guys get things for serviceability. We get it because it looked dope. That's the only reason why we get a lot of things in life.
To be fair,
we don't get Chryslers because we think they're reliable vehicles. We get them because they look good.
Men kind of do that with women, though, too. Really.
Yeah, very true.
The functionality part, like, if it was the other way around, there wouldn't be a human species. Like, God bless women for.
Oh, settling? Oh, definitely. Oh, I'm like, this son of a bitch, he's got a 780 credit report. He's got a nice $80,000 a year job. Yeah, he looks like a munchkin, but he's going to be there. He's going to be reliable.
He'll be good to me.
Yeah, he'll be good to me. Where we'll go.
We're like, oh, wow, she has her doctorate. She could literally, I could be the second, like all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but did you see that girl who screamed at me and has giant boobs? That's an idiot. Yeah.
She's been a host at Buffalo Wild Wings for 10 years.
She's
but my God,
she's figuring it out.
She's figuring it out.
Yeah.
Let's keep the Cocktober spirit going because you cannot have a Cocktober without a Clint Eastwood movie. And boys and girls, we got a preview not only to a Clint Eastwood movie, but the most Clint Eastwood movie he could probably direct, starring actually one of St. Louis's own. Fire it up, Guardsy, for the new Cocktoberfest trailer of the month from Clint Eastwood.
What? Okay, here you go.
Let's get a new tape going. All right, Richard, here's what we're going to do.
We need a voice exemplar.
I want you to say into this phone.
Johnny Ham?
There's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Richard, you're a national hero now.
Thank you, sir. But I was just doing my job.
You always look at the guy who found the bomb, just like you always look at the guy who found the body.
Jewel fits the profile of the lone bomber.
A frustrated white man who is a police wannabe who seeks to become a hero.
We're running it. You're a suspect. You don't talk. I talk. Say it.
I don't talk.
This might be the only way to clear your name. I want you to say there's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Stop trying to be their best friend.
I was raised to respect authority.
Authorities are looking to eat you alive.
There's a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
His accusers are two of the most powerful forces in the world. The United States government and the media.
I do want to help y'all. I'm law enforcement, too. There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Did he do it?
Richard Jewell is an innocent man. He's a hero.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
One more time, just a little louder.
I report the facts.
You've ruined this man's life.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Do a couple in a row.
My son saved people's lives.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
You set that bomb.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
I don't know how to protect you.
I think your client is guilty as hell.
They want to fry you.
You ready to start fighting back?
Richard Jewell this December. Directed, of course,
serious
by
cast on that. Jeez.
Yeah.
very good cast. Kathy Bates, John Hamm, Sam Rockwell. Dynamic cast. And, of course, directed by Clint Eastwood.
I'm guessing Richard Jewell was innocent. I can't
He
remember.
was. He was found innocent.
It's our national shame.
It is.
What I said.
I don't know if you're being funny right now.
No,
or not. Okay.
It
It's
was
a very bad.
It's
thing.
one of those. It's one of those stories.
They tried to pin it to him. Did they find who did it?
Yeah.
Who did it?
This is what gets me.
I don't remember it.
No, and that's fine.
I think a lot of people don't.
That's the point. Is that I always make this point with this story.
Mm-hmm.
I call it our national shame because of how he was treated, and it started because of.
Is he mentally disabled or no?
No.
He just was a larger fella.
Yeah.
He had like some health issues. Lived with his mom.
It's a country boy.
Like
they picked on him because he was weak.
The FBI went in and searched, and they found they were saying, oh, he had porn on his and not child porn or anything, but just he looked at porn, and so since he did not start to fit the stereotype of what our hero would look like, he became this target. When in reality, he saved upwards of 100 lives.
Hundreds of lives.
To move people away.
Massive tragedy. It probably on the scale of, I say Munich, we would say almost, had that actually taken place in regards to the Olympics.
The Olympic Park bomber was Eric Robert Rudolph.
Correct. Eric Rudolph is the guy who had also done other bombings. And the FBI had been looking for, I think they might have found him in North Carolina or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that always gets me, and this is why it's key to pay attention to a story like this. We remember who was accused and who was not guilty, but we don't even remember who the actual person was.
Right.
Which I think is a big lesson for me to learn from something like this, a story like this. Like, at least let's try to remember who the person was that did what they did.
Right.
Because and that's what media has to remember. That's what governmental agencies have to remember, because you turn someone's life into this, and then Richard Jewell dies in his mid-40s from a heart attack or something, complications from whatever, and no one ever really. He was never really celebrated.
So this appears to be something to spark that.
Yeah, because I think people were afraid to look at themselves after that and say,
it was an embarrassing moment. It was certainly an embarrassing moment. Yeah, because
you're like, what have we done to this person's life? And to face that pain and what you have done to someone is difficult to deal with. And I don't think they ever did while he was alive.
Ooh.
People were very overzealous. This was probably a couple years removed. This is where media is at its height, in the sense of we're in the heart of 24-hour news network, a couple years removed now from the O.J. Simpson trial. This was the first American Olympics since the '84 games in California and Los Angeles. So there's it was just on another level. And I was in Atlanta during the first week and a half of the Olympics because my father lived there, and we went to Centennial Park. We went to Centennial Park actually 3 days before the bombing happened. So we actually went by where the bomb was discovered. And again, everyone's on full tilt. It's the Olympics in Atlanta. And so when the story broke, it was the biggest story in the world. Yeah. And you had this hero in Richard Jewell. But again, it sort of mirrored the same tenor of the OJ, where you had, oh, this is a good guy, but wait, let's look behind the curtain to see if he's really as good as a good guy. And to Gardner's point,
this is why people tell you not to stereotype.
Right.
Is for instances, because when you have
grave
a bias,
consequence like that.
Right, very grave consequences.
You don't necessarily understand what the hell's going on.
And then just because that information is out there, and that's why people have to be, especially in the media, responsible with the information that you share. Does it add to the narrative? Like, to your point, he had porn on his computer. That had nothing to do with anything.
No.
That had nothing to do with anything. But now that's out there, and now it's being shaped as a part of the narrative.
You're just embarrassing.
And now you're just embarrassing him. So, yeah, it really is. I'm very interested to see how this plays. I know there are going to be those on the left that are going to call out Clint Eastwood for choosing this story, which I don't think it's fair, because I think it does highlight. Because I think people are familiar now with Clint Eastwood's politics, and they're probably going to suggest that here is Clint Eastwood trying to isolate an incident by showing how fake news can play a role in destroying someone's life. And I'm saying right now that shouldn't be the card that should be played. One, let the movie speak for itself. But two, this was an incident where it was indeed fake news. This, in the sense that the media ran with it without giving this man the opportunity.
Well, there'll be 2 instances here because he'll get to go after the
FBI as well, so he'll get to use the FBI as well.
But I think credit for shining light on a guy who's an anti-abortion person and a white supremacist dude, like who did the bombings. Like, don't be mad at this nice young man who saved lives. Be mad at the other dude. Does that make sense?
No, definitely. I think
so. You should probably celebrate that,
I don't have a problem necessarily with this story being
told. I don't need to celebrate whoever's doing the story necessarily because I already know it intimately.
Right.
Like it's not something that I forgot.
No, I get it. But if he's helping change the thought process or look at this guy who we agree is a hero and got treated like garbage, like that's a pretty good thing.
That is.
And to also,
but I don't know what Clint Eastwood's motives are too.
No,
I think that's the thing that's going to have people on edge.
We've seen enough. I understand what Travis is saying is that we've seen enough of a recent resume to understand there could be some
extra motivation,
some subtleties.
I'm excited that cast. My God,
phenomenal cast. I want to see is John Hamm, Kathy Bates, Sam Rockwell. You can't beat that.
Looks like he's playing a version of the character he played in the Affleck movie, The Town. Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays a good FBI agent.
Yeah,
he looks like it.
Handsome, tall guy coming after you all the time.
No, but I think
he's a good foil to the larger kind of doughy dude.
Mm-hmm. But I think if there is an overall narrative now, if Clint Eastwood wants to. Again, merge the idea that I think
let's see it.
Let's see it. But I'm saying we know there are instances of the FBI and the United States government and even the media overly prosecuting someone without and them having an agenda to do so. So I don't have necessarily a problem with this story being told because this is another example of the government and even our media going too far.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
So it's a real thing. Happening. So I can't deny that.
Humans are flawed, and we're dealing with humans.
Don't. Here's what I'll say is that if he's gonna use it to try to tell the story that hey, it could be happening now,
right?
Then that's when you just tell him to go fuck off.
Yeah, fair enough. If Clint Eastwood, and I think he's smart enough to, I hope he's smart enough to when he rolls this out because it sounds like that he wants to gin up. This movie as Oscar buzz or award season buzz, I think he should be smart enough to just say, look, there are times where our government and the media can go too far in their prosecution of an individual.
If that's the motive, then I would say, okay, maybe I won't see it now, Clint. I'm just going to go home and watch All the President's Men because that would be a counter to what his motive, if that truly were the case, which I don't know. I would say, okay, if you're saying pushing this as an agenda kind of underlying while making a movie, number one, that would really severely fucking piss me off because I do believe that Richard Jewell's story needs to be told and told properly.
Told properly, I agree.
Because he deserves the recognition that he really never got. And
he saved lives.
And if your motive, if you have kind of an ulterior motive with it to kind of go that route, and during interviews and promoting this, and that's where you're going to go, then get fucked.
Yeah.
Because because then you're even taken away from the story even more.
Right.
So that would be my warning.
And to Chris's point, let the story speak for itself. And if Eastwood does that and his media
rollout,
that
does deserve to be told.
And it looks like it's going to be a good story.
You're specifically saying like you're not looking for motive, but if you catch a whiff of it, it will hurt your soul almost because you do feel that this man who saved lives, who got ran through the ringer incorrectly. No, that makes sense because we had somebody asking about motives, looking for motives. So there we go.
Yeah.
How about this? Black Sheep says maybe Gardner. You should think about that before you start pointing the finger at the very innocent and great big cycling for the hit on your life. They are a wonderful employer. He means organization, the Black Sheep.
Oh.
Alluding that he might be working for big cycling. That could have happened with your scooter accident.
Black Sheep has political ties. Black Sheep has the means, the resources. I am not saying that.
So the Black Sheep put the hit out?
I think we should add Black Sheep to your suspect list.
Cocktoberfest and a Black Sheep
Mm-hmm.
puts it. So does Black Sheep's post-it go on the wall?
I think it's pretty clear.
We'll look into that. Real quick, I want to remind everybody, Travis and I, Oktoberfest, that's right. Coming up, October 11th and 12th, Soulard Market Park. Travis, you ever been there?
Yes, sir.
He was there last year. Soulard Market Park hosting Oktoberfest. We'll be there, hyping up the crowd, getting things going, doing some Stein holding competition, having some fun, being with the people, as Travis is demanded
With
upon.
the people. Look at that.
You going to wear that German hat again?
I think it's actually still.
Got your lederhosen?
I'm trying to see. Is it in the trunk of my car?
Yeah, check it out. It's free to the public. You can also get VIP tickets online. Check out the tickets on Eventbrite. That's Soulard Oktoberfest coming up. John Perdsborn, he'll be there along with Brave Combo. They're a Grammy-winning German polka band. They were also on The Simpsons, Travis.
One of my favorite jokes I think I told last year at Oktoberfest. What's up, my schnitzels?
He was real proud of that.
I was very proud of that.
Real proud of that.
You going to use that again?
Hell yeah.
You should.
That's a go-to, man.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Come out and join us October 11th and 12th, Soulard Farmers Market with Travis, but we'll put the umlauts over your A.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, make that extra German for that day.
Guten Tag!
Well, no, that was kind of on. Yeah. We do have a great interview with Ian Edwards. He's at Helium Comedy Club all weekend long. Definitely watch this. He's very funny, and it was a good time. And we actually go back and take a look back from about 4 years ago that might have been a little embarrassing for me. Do you have anything we need to knock out before we jump to Ian Edwards?
No, I don't think so.
Guys, we hope it's a great weekend. Enjoy this. It's Travis Farrell, myself, and Ian Edwards, very funny comedian, live right here at Midcoast Studio. Check it out. Pleased to be, this is weird to say, rejoined by Ian Edwards, in from California, doing Helium Comedy Club all weekend long. Ian was one of our first guests we ever had on the show. He still talks about it to this day as a momentous occasion.
Oh yeah. This is you guys have come a long way.
We actually
you
have.
see, you've come so far that you got a guy that can barely walk. You have to wait for him to press the on button. So we've been here for 15 minutes.
Yeah. He said
waiting
5.
For this guy that they can't walk. He's the technical guy.
Technically handicapped now.
Technically handicapped. Well, you got run over on a what? On the sidewalk?
Go ahead and make it about you, Gardner. Come on, let's do it.
I was on a scooter.
All right.
It's a lifestyle for
Nothing
him.
wrong with that.
Yeah. You want to tell Ian the story? I think you need to tell him the story. This is pretty bad, Ian.
Car got in the way.
And then you have to duck
out. I had to jump off. I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
So twisted my knees.
What did you learn from this?
That there should be no more cars allowed in urban areas.
That's really exactly what we just learned from that.
I'm glad you learned the right lesson. Apparently, you definitely leveled up knowledge-wise.
Yeah, I'm not getting rid of my scooter.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's never going to happen. We're excited to have Ian in town again at Helium all weekend long. You guys go out and see him. Have some very talented openers as well, but we're excited to speak to Ian on the recent release of the new special, man. All Things Comedy, putting that out. Bill Burr backing you. You have a lot of very talented people that believe in you and have been preaching the Ian Edwards gospel for so many years. So it's nice to be able to put the special out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's? I mean, you've been doing stand up for a while. You write. Is this did it feel the way you thought it was going to feel? Like it's supposed to feel? I guess putting the special out. Does it feel like an achievement?
The way things are now,
right?
It's not an achievement. I feel like I need to do 2 more on top of that one to get to where I want to get to. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think you build as you go along, and then you do a second one, and then some people that didn't see the first one see the second one, and they go back and see the first one, and then you do the third one, and people that didn't see the second or first one go back and see the and then you get the fan base that you need to be have a lot of make a lot of money on the road. How about that?
Yeah. Theaters,
theaters and stuff like that. Yeah.
What are some of the creative challenges that you ran into in putting this? I would imagine you do a lot, you do your best material or at least work through some of your best material while you're on the road, but then you get into the room in the post production, you look at a joke or you see the response of a crowd? What were some of the challenges that you
No, everything was
encountered?
perfect, bro.
Really, right out the just home run,
Classic
not
Ian
an
Edwards.
issue.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Ian Edwards.
Nah, I mean, the only challenge, I don't know if challenge is the right question.
Okay.
You know, it's just an experience.
Okay.
Like, you know, you figure out like what, like I all the edits that they asked me to come to and that I was available for, I went to. I learned just the whole process of it.
Right.
And then figured out tricks how to fix things. Not that much needed fixing. Like, I had to learn how to, like, all right, so we had this whole special, but they had a theme. Some
Okay.
jokes didn't fit the theme. So you're like, take those out. Even though
Okay.
those are good jokes, I'll take them out. And it's good that you can take them out because now I still have 2 or 3 jokes or bits that I can use while I'm building my new hour
Right.
on the road.
Okay.
So it's just stuff like that. And then you see how a crew, like when you're shooting a special, we shot 2 in one day, right?
Wow.
So we shot 2 in one day, and the first one was my best set.
Okay.
The second one, because they told me the first one went so well, so I kind of like relaxed a little
Right.
bit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But then the second one was the crew's best one, as
Okay.
far as like
Okay.
Technically.
coordination and technically, like the camera and the director and just everybody was in concert by the second one.
Right.
And so that was their best performance, like with the crane and just, you know, sound and everything. So they want to use the second one,
Right.
and I want to use the,
The
first
first one
one.
'cause you had
yeah.
your best performance.
Yeah. So you, like when I was talking to Whitney, she did an entire shoot the day before. She shot twice too,
Right.
but the day before, she did a shoot with all the cameras so that they could get their rehearsal one out of the way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that
All Things Comedy produced both those too, right?
yeah. But she didn't want to like, you know, you can end up in a situation where it's like the first one is stretching for the camera crew.
Right.
You know, and I'm already ready to go.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And by the
Right.
second one, I'm like, we already won this game.
Right.
We're up by 30 points. So why am I playing like we down by 30?
Right.
Yeah.
Does it become distracting? Like I would imagine, like.
But you don't know till after.
Until after. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There.
You don't know, like, you know, I didn't realize until after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And is that the plan to stick to more just steamroll the stand up, the specials, tour, or do you want to get back to writing some? Like, what do you like? Because I know in the past you've said writing has maybe just taken opportunities away from stand up at times.
I don't know if I put it that way. It's just you just make a choice, and then people also like coin you.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, he's a writer," which I didn't know because I was doing stand up in
Right.
LA all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is interesting because when people are building their writer's room, they want stand-up comedian. Like they want somebody who has that
Right.
in that back pocket. So that's interesting that people will be so quick to typecast you one thing or the other.
Right. I guess if they see other people doing it more, those people are more in their mind as a stand-up than the people they don't see as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they'll say, "Where's Ian?" "Oh, he's writing on a show." So then, but I'm always doing stand-up in LA. But comedy changed. Like the more you're on the road, the more visibility you have as a stand-up now. You know.
It's wild too that this is your first one you've done. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and now you want to try. You pop out 5 more, right? Maybe not 5, but I know
at least 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be redundant, but I often ask other writers this, like especially when you've done shows like Blackish, and you've done things like Carmichael's show. Like, is there a different level of pressure for writers of color in those rooms, knowing that, at least it feels like from a audience member like myself, that there is a little room for error, in the sense that you almost have to, for some black shows, you have to hit the ball out of the park at the first at bat. If you don't, then you're kind of put behind the 8 ball. And do you feel like that level of pressure takes place in the writer's room, or at the end of the day, the writers are just, let's put together the best script, the best story, and just let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I think that attitude is the best. Like every show has pressure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because every show wants those. You have to get. You get a deal. I mean, it's the pressure is not from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's from pitching a show, and it's like, so let me start this over. So every show has to make an impact, or else they're gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think the issue with black shows is the type of black shows that they allow you to have on.
Oh, I see.
In the first place.
Right. So they set the tone from the beginning.
Right. So it's like, if you have a black show, you have to, like, there's a type of weird racism where you have to, like, I have a thing on my Instagram called Roommates, right? So it's a little Instagram show, right? And it's funny. People I like it a lot. I get a lot of comments and likes and watches and views. And then my manager pitched it to a network, and they were like, what's the cultural significance of the show? And it's just some situational funny things.
Right.
And this terror that I put my roommate through.
Right.
And my roommate is Chaldean. It's like he's from Iran, and I'm black. So they want a show with cultural significance. Meanwhile, the same network has shows that are all white with no cultural significance. So the racism is, you have to teach us something about your people to be on our network. And if you're not, it's going to be tougher. So if you look at to get on. So if you look at Blackish, it's teaching something.
Right.
If you look at the Carmichael show, it was teaching something.
Exactly.
Chappelle show was teaching something. Like most of the shows that are on, like Rami on Hulu, he's teaching something about what it's. So it has to be almost looked at as a kind of a documentary for white people.
Wow.
Or else they won't just let you be like they just won't let you just say some funny shit.
Right, exactly.
That's so frustrating, because that's the answer to their issues. Like, you should that's the most pure form of it. Just go do your thing. Like, that makes no sense. Like, it's very strange to hear that.
Or why now?
To me,
why this show?
Why I'm not the one pitching and getting this.
No, it's funny. It's like we're gonna be more diverse,
right?
And we're gonna put on,
but that's not
on ethnic shows,
right?
But like what's his name? He's a big comic. I forgot his name. He had a show. He won some Emmys on Netflix, and he's huge. He was on Parks and Rec.
Aziz Ansari.
Aziz show is teaching something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just think of like all the. There's no, there might be a very few black shows on our ethnic shows that they're not
having to have that lesson.
There's no history lesson or cultural lesson, or you're not learning about the culture of the people. I think Sunnyside, which has a big ethnic cast.
Yes.
The pilot episode did and didn't have cultural significance.
Right.
But I don't know where the show is going to go once it goes on more.
Right.
But we'll see.
I never thought about now that I think about it.
But
that's
weirdly enough, like, that's not treating everyone the same. Like,
no, it's not.
We need to do that's
listen.
That's the most racist.
People don't learn. It's funny. Is people think when they're not even being racist that they're not being racist, but they are kind of being racist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is too, because that's the thing that we bitch about all the time, where it's just like, we just want to kind of get it to the point where everybody can just call each other an asshole, and you don't want to have to think that there's some weird charge behind it. But with stuff like that, you're essentially just creating more noise that you're just not letting people do it, and it's frustrating.
Has the I guess the energy changed from the time you got into the industry to now, as far as being able to put any type of project that you're working on forward? Has it changed in any regard? Because again, like, for those not into the industry, like, as far as like when you first got started and when you were to start pitching ideas, have people's sensibilities changed to the point where, like, well, it was very difficult to push an idea like a Chappelle show maybe 15, 20 years ago, whereas to now you may see more networks or studios more willing to take on that type of comedy, if you will.
Well, it's not even a type of comedy. It's like, so when I first started, there's usually only one black guy at a time. Right. Now, they use a lot of ethnic people.
Right.
And minorities, but they have to be younger.
Right.
So I'm not exactly in the younger age group anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of young minorities getting a chance. Because, like, I think the millennials are seeing everybody pretty much as the same, and it's that generation is, like, coming up now and has been doing things. So a lot of them, so it was harder to get a writing job back then unless it was like a black show. But now I can get a job on any show.
Right.
Because they want to have a diverse writer's room, because nobody wants to look bad, and maybe some people are really trying to change things. So it's easier to get a writing job, but to get your own show, you have to, like Mark Maron had to create something. Create his own thing. Like, you know, you've heard his story. He said he was done, nobody wanted him.
Right.
And it was, you know, his age. And Bill Burr, you know, had to, you know, he's been around for a while before he broke through. And it wasn't anybody giving him anything. It's just some shit he created.
Right.
And just keep going. Like, everybody's like, unless you're young or you're already famous.
Right.
If you're already famous, you're fine. And unless you create something and get out there, but it is easier for younger comics.
Okay.
Now, plus there's more networks, more platforms.
Right.
There's like when I came up, there's ABC, NBC, CBS, and then Fox came in.
Yeah, that's weird. Thinking Fox used to be a renegade channel, right?
And out the gate,
like
too,
they would make fun of it. It'd be like cops and like violent things.
Yeah.
Just crazy stuff.
And then I call in Keenan Ivory right out the gate.
Yeah.
That was a very big leap for a network show, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now too, and you tour with him. I assume you are. You're close to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
homie. Yeah.
and it's one of those things where he does more numbers than any network TV show, maybe out there. Not any, most.
There's a lot of like individual. What do they call them? Like just
influencers
podcasts
or podcasters
or just like
creators, even
people who have just stuff on YouTube.
Right.
Like that, you know, everything's so split up. It's not those 3 or 4 networks anymore. There's so much access to other things.
Right.
And it's taken attention away from those things. And now, as more time goes on, people believe in these other things than the traditional things. And they look at them you're just talking about the Logan Paul and his brother in the other room, and like those guys are killing it. And there's just so many people crushing it. But just they get network numbers.
That's crazy.
Just from goofing around doing whatever they do.
Yeah.
So,
and the irony is, you know, Dane Cook is kind of the guy who started it.
Kicked it off.
He's the guy that everybody shits on.
Right.
But he's the guy whose blueprint everybody's following.
From MySpace.
And from MySpace. You know.
I remember that wave too, because the age we are, that happened. We were at the end of college, I guess, and I just remember just like people that have never even said the word stand-up comedy before, like, Dane Cook, I love Dane Cook. Like, that was this crazy wave that we just kind of saw happen in, 2005 or 6 or whatever that was. It's wild to think about.
At the end of the day, then, for a comedian or a writer, is the goal to just get the work out there and have eyes on it, or is it still to get, you know, the film deal, the TV deal, or I guess you just maybe...
Everybody just has their own individual goal.
Gotcha.
You know, if you're asking me about mine, I want to get my stuff out there. Some I'm going to have to give away for free, like I have a podcast, it's a soccer podcast. I do the roommates thing on Instagram, and we're going to put it on YouTube soon. And, you know, I just want people, it's just an ad for people to become aware of me and then come see me at these comedy clubs and grow into theaters. And maybe I'll do something bigger than theaters, you know, at one point. I don't like it too big.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though some big venues do manage to create intimacy, that
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
believe that they
Yeah,
could.
so
it's kind of funny when you see stand up in these huge ass.
It's
arenas,
interesting so when you're so
basketball
used to.
stadiums.
I mean, you do you do the store mainly?
Yeah.
Like you do the store or like the belly room or something. Like it's still it's a club obviously, but it's
Yeah.
it's cozy and you feel
Right.
good and
Mhm.
it feels how comedy should be watched or performed or whatever. But then I do applaud some of the I don't know what theaters maybe you're thinking of. I'm thinking like even there's a 4,000 person theater up the street that it's so old and so crafted for specifically
4,000
that.
is nothing.
Right.
But
yeah.
I've done recently. I've been on the road with Chappelle and Rogan when they
Yeah.
did the combined shows.
That
Right,
one
yeah,
in
that's right.
Utah. You
Yeah,
guys did?
we
Yeah.
did one. It was like 25,000.
And it felt intimate.
And yeah, somehow it felt intimate. And I was like, when we walked in there, when it's only like 5 people in the stands and just all the chairs that were empty, I was like, what the fuck did you get me into, Rogan? But then it packed out and it just became a lovely night. And you just, after I got off, before I even went on, I enjoyed watching the show.
Yeah.
Terrified, went up, they got into it right away.
Right.
Did my thing, and then just sat back and just watched everybody else.
Can you describe that energy? Like I
would've-
can't
it's like
imagine
waves coming in off the ocean.
Right. I can't imagine being in front of like 25,000 people just almost hanging on your every
neither.
word. And so I could imagine like when
I
you
wasn't-
step out in front of that, I feel like I would black out first,
Right.
but
I didn't enjoy it at all because I wasn't there, because it
You
didn't
were
feel
floating above
real.
yourself?
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and imagine if you're funny like Ian and people actually laugh at what you say.
That'd
like
be
how
nice.
pleasing
That
is.
would help.
Yeah, that helps. Definitely helps. Yeah.
Does it literally like roar in from the back? Like, are there delays? Like,
Yeah, you have to wait.
yeah.
You know, it's a physics thing.
Interesting.
It's the how sound travels. You know, you have to wait till, you know, everybody hears it, everybody laughs, and then stops laughing.
Right.
Because you don't want to step on. It's a timing thing.
Right.
You know.
How competitive are you guys when you're like on the road like that? Because you guys have been doing it for so long, and I would imagine it feels very natural. But do you guys at any point when you're doing those kind of things, is there a little competitiveness that goes on?
I mean, I'm competitive from before that.
Okay.
You know, it's competitive meaning I'm competitive with myself,
Right.
but also I guess with other comics in the healthiest way possible.
Right, of course.
Like you wanna I guess I like my reputation of being a good comic.
Right.
So I want to keep that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So after the special, I have any material really, a few jokes. I just started like trying out new shit right away
Right.
and trying to get that new shit up to par with my old stuff and even better than that. And then it's painful when you're just doing okay, you know? So you go home and listen to those sets and you start working on them, you know, and trying to make those jokes better,
Right.
you know? Like I did Laughing Skull was one of the first gigs I did soon after.
In Atlanta, right?
In Atlanta. Like,
Nice.
and that's after the special aired. So I gave them a good mediocre weekend of comedy.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean?
It was nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I had.
Right.
But I learned so much from that weekend.
Right.
And repaired the set so much better. And it just happens. You don't know what people are thinking after.
Right.
So yeah, he was all right.
Travis, he took it to Laughing Skull half hard, and he's like, no, you know, we still did
No,
it.
no, I went all out.
Oh, you're fully erect.
But
yeah.
the state of the material.
Okay, got
yeah,
it.
It's
yeah.
just like, it's okay.
Do you recall like the joke or even maybe the moment where you knew it was like, hey, I can really do this shit for a living? Like when you felt, because I always feel like with comedians, like you will know. It's not always how the crowd responds or an agent or another comedian telling you.
Comics
but I feel like with
in and think they got it figured out.
yeah, true.
Man,
but also I think it like there's where everything just comes together,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
get the response from the crowd and your peers, but also where you even as a writer, comedian, where you know, nah, that shit's funny. And yes, this the right decision not to be a general manager at Macy's, but now do stand up for a living. This was the thing to do.
If I could have been a general manager at Macy's.
Think about the
we'll be doing
retirement you
this.
just built up. Your 401k would be quite healthy.
Maybe that's when the decision was made. And I realized I wouldn't be able to be a general manager at Macy's. I'm like,
I wonder if it's like on these
shit,
on
that's
these
a big accomplishment, bro. That's like being a doctor and an architect.
Yeah. Imagine how proud your family would be.
Yeah. All the shit I could get them. I can get them as much shit as a famous person.
You could afford vacations, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
And he wouldn't have to work on it.
You could walk around the house. If you feel like being sick, we could afford it. You know? You don't have to be healthy all the time.
We're gonna have to.
You can get hit by a scooter. You got this. You got medical.
We're gonna have to put our producer down thanks to the state of the healthcare system. No, I wonder too, Travis, to add on to yours, like I don't know, maybe it's the first time that in your heart, and I'm not saying put anybody on Front Street, in your heart you just knew you did better than somebody you looked up to. That could be a moment that I would think would be important for a comic, where it's like, oh, and just to enjoy that. I'm sure
there's lots of moments. Like the moment, my first set ever, I bombed. I was nervous. The lights were bright. I knew people in the audience. I was just a rack of nerves.
Right.
But I pulled it together on the last joke, and it was the only joke that I said the way I wrote it, and they laughed. And I was like, oh, I can do this. It's not that I'm not funny. I'm nervous as shit.
Right.
Yep.
And I got to get over these nerves, and I'll be fine. And then I started at Governor's, this comedy club in Long Island. And I used to go there on the weekends and see all the headliners. Saw some great headliners. So it was great as a young comic to be able to see these people who are on TV for free. God bless the club owners and the people who ran it.
Right.
You know, you do open mics during the week, but on the weekend, me and a bunch of the open micers would meet up there. And there was one guy, he sold out one weekend. I can't remember his name to this day. We didn't know who he was. He wasn't on TV, but he sold out the weekend. I said, oh, shit, you could make a living even if people don't know you. You could just, all I got to do is at least be this guy who I don't even remember right now.
And that's
and
when
I'll be fine.
That's when the
You know
Macy's
what I mean?
general manager job went out the window.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sad day for some.
Because that guy was a general manager.
who I now respect greatly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, Travis, that Ian could have been something, man.
That's very true.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
One day.
He's like, I'm in a podcast studio in St. Louis, Missouri. Do you think it's happening? I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. So when I first did your podcast, who contacted me?
Me.
You did?
So what it was? So
that's how bad my memory is.
You've done plenty of significant things in the last 4 years. Like you almost got that job at the grocery store. There was the civil servant stuff you were doing.
Yeah.
You've accomplished some things.
That's true.
Here
That's how we talked to you. I think they were on the radio at the time.
So that's what So we're idiots. We started doing just at the time we were 30-ish, or I guess we wanted to do a podcast. Trying to keep it super short here, but wanted to do a podcast, and I was like, I have a sales background. We aren't interesting enough for anyone to actually listen to a podcast in my living room. We knew of a CBS affiliate that killed their like an 8 to 10 p.m. evening show, and it worked out that it did. I mean, it had a decent reach on the station. They gave us a chance. It worked out all right, and I just figured I was like, I could probably get a hold of comics. Helium opened up not long after, so that helped with contacts and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I emailed you, or you had a guy attached to your website that connected the two of us.
Oh, maybe it was Hunter, my manager at the time.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I could pull up the emails probably somewhere, but I just reached out directly. And
on this computer right in front of you?
That
works instantly?
Yes.
That you could find out the answer to this question? That you're not
Jesus,
even,
stop
you're not even reaching up to try to find out since we're on the topic? Okay.
Problem would be the CTE that just riddles my brain.
You got a computer right in front of you.
If only there was a device where I could probably get the answer immediately.
Yeah, let's just find out. There's a search thing. Yeah. Even I know this, and I'm terrible. Let's just get to the bottom of this. We're never going to have this moment again.
Never again.
I'll be honest, I will never be back here as a comedian. I may not even do this stupid city of yours ever again because of you.
Whoops, thanks for your old manager for answering. Yeah, I mean, thanks for answering.
Yeah, it was really a good time. Yeah. No, I reached out and had you on, and we had you on the evening radio show, and then in a pretty quick amount of time, we went from there to like afternoon drive and mornings, and then we realized it made more sense at this time finally that kind of the digital wave caught up to St. Louis. We partnered with some really cool people. We have a publicist and an apparel person, formed a bigger company, and figured we'd dump money into a studio rather than splitting
an apparel person?
we print stuff. It's called Buy Jackets through the yeah. We're a whole media company. Yeah,
balling.
Yeah. We're doing. You need some shirts, bro? What do you want? You need a banner?
Let's see. Let's see what size. Let's see what they look like.
Okay, yeah.
I do.
We'll make that happen. I'm gonna find this email. This is bugging me now. Travis, you got anything for Ian? Now, I do want to know too, as far as the digital stuff. Is there, whether it's your friend, whether it's Rogan's, whether it's Marin or Fitzdog, or anybody, a podcast that you do, do you see a giant, and you do your own podcast, but is there a significant bump in just people recognizing you, being into your stuff, et cetera, on any of those podcasts more than the other?
Yeah.
Like Miss Pat said, she's like, her whole life changed when she did WTF, and then also like another thing with Rogan.
Yeah, Rogan, and like I just did Tom
Papa?
No, whatchamacallit? I just did Your Mama's House.
Oh, Your Mom's House.
So that came out yesterday. I did a few
They're huge
a month ago. And followers went up and comments went up and like when I was promoting the special, I hit a lot of podcasts and that did just as much as the special.
Right.
Like the special got me on a ton of podcasts. You know what I mean?
I feel like
so show business is kind of reversed right
now.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like what HBO did kind of for a comedy, like in the early mid-90s, like podcasts are almost doing now for comedians as far as like they're out there. And now you guys are like getting so much more exposure, but also being able to, I feel like also podcasts have become a place where you can work out material. And
or you can lose a job at SNL.
Or you can, or that, if you want to call that material, sure.
Do you know that guy?
No, I don't know him.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's like, oh, we all know him now.
I know of him. Yeah. But I don't blame them for not hiring him. And it's not because of what he said.
Right.
It's his response to what he said afterwards.
It's you're the third, you're like the third or fourth or second comedian that said exactly that.
Yeah, when they call you in and like, what do you have to say for yourself? Give your Obama speech.
There it is.
But like, you know what you're getting into. You're not going on to do like Chappelle's show. You're going on to do SNL, and you know who SNL.
You know what time it is.
To.
It's 2009. Like, there's a friend on SNL now. When they got the job, so they called up All Things Comedy and said, "Hey, I need you to take all my podcasts down." They didn't tell All Things Comedy why. All Things Comedy took them down. A week later, it was announced they were a new cast member of SNL. Right? This person doesn't even really say anything controversial. But they were smart enough to say, take it all down. This guy didn't do that. So I'm talking about not hiring somebody on a level of smartness. That's going to make more mistakes later on when he's a member. You don't want to hire somebody who's just going to make dumb mistakes. So the cancel culture is saying this is cancel culture, but it's not that.
No.
It's like you want to work with somebody
who's smart enough to know, to understand what they're definitely getting themselves into, and that's part of the play.
If you're running through a field, you don't want somebody who's going to trip every 4 feet, right?
You're not going to see a field of glass and not say, "Let me not put my shoes on." And just run barefoot through it.
Right.
If you could write for any program right now on TV, I don't even know if you get to watch much TV or anything, but
I do. I get it in.
Do you? Okay. So, is there a program that you get an automatic pass to jump in on the writing staff?
Yeah, I want to write on my own. To be honest, yeah. That's why I've like turned down a bunch of jobs since the special came out. And just focusing on on the road, and at one thing that'll help my profile grow more is getting my own show. So
when's that gonna happen?
I guess the process is kind of starting now. So I gotta, while I'm on the road, I gotta work on some things, get pitches and ideas and stuff ready. So I can,
I've been a huge fan of your writing for a long time, so I'm very much looking forward to whatever project you have at Time on the Line. Please, please come back on this show so we can promote the hell out of it.
And then maybe by that time he'll find that email.
Well, I just found something, so I'm gonna say your email out loud if you keep mouthing on.
It's cool. I don't have that email no more. A lot of things changed in 4 years.
No. I think I know what's going on here. I found this, but I can't. It's not going back super, super far. So I'm just not even gonna.
How
Is it
old
like
is
comedies online?
How old is
comedians-
this Asa?
No, this is, I don't ever use this email account anymore. I'm like, What was your manager's name?
Hunter.
Hunter. Yeah, I'm not getting anything from that.
Put H. At,
Uh-huh.
Hey, Hunter Seedman. Put
Okay.
that in and see if something comes. H. Seedman. Not.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Oh boy.
Yep, there it is. At Integral Entertainment.
You want to
Yeah.
hear him like actually hear the email that he sent?
I don't want to read it.
Yeah, let's read
Yo,
it.
dog, what's good? I am Chris Denman.
Because
Hello. Here's a bunch of shit that's not true for your client to come on our thing. Let's see.
It's like we've interviewed
You want to do
the
this?
writer of The Simpsons.
Hunter sent me to Brian.
To Brian.
Yeah. Do you know who Brian
Brian
is?
who?
Brian's email is at Monterey International. Monterey International?
Oh, I think that's a.
This is fun.
That's a.
Monterey
A
International.
Nigerian prince. apparently.
I think he's a booker.
Okay.
But he sent you to Brian?
Hey, Brian. Wanted to reach out to see if Ian would be available for radio appearance the first or second week of October. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. And I said, so I booked all these people. This is real. As of now, our launch in October includes guests like Adam Carolla, Greg Fitzsimmons, a couple NFL players, UFC folks. and
Oh,
we'll be
yeah, I remember
featuring-
this lie. I remember this lie. Because when I was doing the podcast, I said, this doesn't feel like they've done all that. like during the actual podcast.
He was like, I don't.
Oh,
they
during
don't-
it probably.
I don't
yeah.
think they can even read.
I want to say you might have been our second or third guest, but all those people did
You
come
literally
on.
were.
They
yeah.
came on?
Yeah.
Eventually,
After-
after we got.
It says
we ran.
As of now, our launch in October includes Adam Carolla, Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably just read through it too quick. Like, oh, Carolla?
No, it's not too quick. You guys are a sham.
You liar, son of a bitch. You are some liar.
Come on!
Bunch of con. Just call it what it is. That's why you didn't want to bring up the email. You get caught.
Brian Swanson. Brian Swanson is who this was. Expect to hear from Ian's manager shortly. He is into this.
Oh, so now,
so
now
so
were you
sent
lying?
You sent it to Brian?
So someone named Brian sent it to Hunter. Now we have Hunter. Hi, Chris. I manage Ian Edwards, and his booking agent forwarded me along the info. Ian would be
So
into
you
doing
sent it to
this.
Brian, and Brian was my booking agent.
Mm-hmm,
And
I
Brian
guess.
sent it to Hunter. Did you send it to Brian for me, or just whoever he got? Did I just end up by?
this is
He
about-
didn't even want me. This is an accident. It's a complete accident.
I was trying to get Ian back, and they gave me the wrong Ian.
That's what it sounds like. This whole shit is an accident.
Why are you here right now? This is all built on a lie.
You sure you want me to hear this? I wonder. It's all coming clear now.
Oh man!
Very apparent.
Wow! Look forward to Oh yeah,
Chris, get out of this. Let's get out of this. Dump.
Hunter,
Got to dump, Chris.
Brian, this is fantastic. Oh man, yeah. And then we had you on for something we probably stumbled through for too long of a time, and then
It was over the phone.
And yes, it was.
Yeah,
and
I
then
remember. I was in my living room. Like,
the worst day of my life.
What the hell is this? This guy's interviewed all those people? It's impossible.
Sound like my mother now. Like, y'all sure y'all talk to these comedians?
Ooh, anything besides 100% half-assed, Ian would like us to plug. Like, that mattered at the time. He's the Comedy Store in particular. You were going to be at the New York Comedy Festival right before that.
yeah.
Right before your life got ruined by talking to us.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's one of those
Listen,
things.
you guys weren't big enough to ruin anything.
That's also true.
Now you're still exaggerating.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Not even that
You
important to ruin my
You should
career.
probably go complain. Like, this is not worth your time.
I mean, we did it. It's fine. Got it all.
Well, it's a good thing we have roof access here. I'm going to go jump.
Yeah.
It's been enough. Ian, it truly is a pleasure to have you back on. Oh, my gosh. This is going to be, he's going to write about this.
Is he even hurt? Walking around with a cane.
What the hell is a mid-coast?
Yeah, we were waiting for this guy to press a button to say go. He's even hurt. This is all
uncovered from an old email
We
thread.
better get out of this podcast studio before the real people.
Hey, we told y'all about planning here.
This is a dentist's office. Get your equipment out immediately.
Take your sound shit off my dentist wall.
We just photoshopped all these pictures of people. You
I
might
wonder
know.
there's like pictures of people on the wall with their mouth open and gauze in their mouth.
What?
I thought,
Why
this
is
is
there
a weird
Why is there a
podcast
trunk
studio.
with toys
Yeah.
as you leave the studio?
Yeah.
It says for kids. It's
Jesus.
strange. Ian Edwards, listen to the Soccer Comic. Is it Soccer Comic Rants?
Yeah.
On all things comedy. No one's gonna know about this, right? We're
Yeah.
just tricking you into this.
You should come back next time. We have an MLS team now, so you can.
Oh
do a
yeah, I
pilot
wanted to
back.
ask you about that. Should we care about MLS?
I used to not care, but I care way more now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Is that
a good,
'cause
that's a
it's
good
gotten
sign
better?
there.
Yeah. So what?
The league, has it gotten better?
The league's gotten better. Plus, there's a team in LA called the LAFC.
Yeah.
And it's like a great soccer experience.
Okay.
To go
Okay.
to their games. Like the fans got their shit together. The organization got their shit together.
Okay.
They had a good coach, good players. They have a system. You know, the players fit the system.
Okay.
And the support is amazing. It's just a really
That's
fun ass
All
time.
right, cool.
So through the lens of the LAFC, the MLS is good. And then Zlatan, he's playing for the Galaxy. He's
Right.
doing good over there. And I used to go to Galaxy games, and they just like a cheering section of like 20 people banging on drums trying to drag the whole stadium with
Right,
them.
and the rest of the stadium is like probably on the cell phone or on IG.
Or just, just wasn't, it's just not what the LAFC is now.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It must be a good gig being a mouthpiece for big soccer as well, too. It's got to be to push that out there, man. I don't know. There's not that many people, or more than you would think, just kind of spreading the word about soccer in the U.S. And it seems like there's just such a swell. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because we're in St. Louis and there has been all this excitement around MLS. But there's been a big shift, and people have been telling us there's going to be a big shift for 20 years.
Right.
Feels like it's more real now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in the morning to there. You guys have a team that's not in the MLS.
Yeah, STLFC.
I'm going down there tomorrow.
Oh,
In
nice.
the morning, check out the field.
Oh,
hang
nice.
out, look at the
Very
facility.
You'll enjoy that then.
Take some pictures and shit like that. So I'll
That
be
team
down there
doesn't
tomorrow.
actually exist. I tricked your manager into
You
thinking
did?
it was.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? I gotta go Google it.
False
Get outta
reality,
here.
man.
And my
You're not
internet
even
is
here.
weirdly not working in here. either.
Oddly, right?
So I can't check up shit.
It's kind of strange how that
Yeah.
happens. No, that's exciting. How did you set that up for STLFC? Just
My
had the club?
My manager, I got.
That's why you got a new
Yeah, the
manager.
real one
He
now.
vets
He has a
things.
real one
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
He looked into it. Yeah,
Okay.
Because we're trying to build the podcast out. So the more interactions I have with people who are invested in the idea of soccer, no matter on what level, is a positive.
You want us to send an email, see if we can get the...
No, we're good.
Oh,
Good.
okay,
Yeah.
man, that's so great to have you. And I apologize for doping you the first time.
Yeah, you did. You
got him, though.
You roofied me. You sentence roofied me.
You roofied me, you
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
You roofied me onto your podcast, bro.
That's gonna be the clip off we use
Yeah.
for other comedians to try to get them on the show. Ian
Oh,
Edwards
it's
is
funny though.
roofie.
Good shit. Oh, for real.
You're patronizing. It's
No,
getting a little
no,
awkward.
no,
Now it's went from a
I
fun
wouldn't.
story to insulting. Now you.
No, I
it's
wouldn't.
just-
I wouldn't even insult you like that. Because
You're not worth it.
Like I like the way you built this thing up from lies. You know.
No one's gonna answer our emails ever again.
I mean, they will now because it worked.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like what's that show on? Damn, what network is it? The guy worked on. He's a lawyer, but he doesn't have a degree.
Better Call Saul.
No, not Better. He
What
doesn't
is-
have a degree. It's been on like 10 years now. You should know. You look like you
Yeah,
would
come
know.
on, Gardner. What do you got?
Is that
it's fr-
Suits?
Suits. And
Yeah.
a friend of
I've never
mine.
seen it.
It was a writer. I wrote with him on a show. He created that show.
Oh,
But-
really?
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
That's an
he
amazing
knows
job.
everything about the law, but he never had a degree, and he got the job, and he just had to like the first few seasons is like not being discovered, you know.
It's a good show.
Is that
Yeah.
but
So
it's-
Meghan Markle.
you
Is
should
that a-
watch that show.
Okay,
It's
I will.
basically based on your life
My
as a
life?
podcaster. Yeah.
Radio, huh? These guys just stumbled through their second
what-
question. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What a history we have together. And I'm sorry to say that you're going to end
But
it
now,
here.
now we're based on truth. So
Yeah,
that's
finally.
okay.
We got around to it.
We
got
finally
around to
cleaned it
Yeah,
up.
cleaned it up.
Ian Edwards, thank you so much,
All right,
guys.
thank
Go
you so
see him
much.
at Helium all weekend
appreciate it.
long.
Thank
Peace.
And this will be our last ever Helium interview.
No,
after we're blown up, man.